Say
Little
it.
Little Joe, Big Pavelski, you name it, you love him. We're gonna appreciate him right now here on Teal Town Live. We love you, Joe. And as always, if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow Pavelski fans on the YouTube page or the app. Follow us on the social everywhere. Find everything at tealtownusa.com. And of course, if you want to support the pod, hit us up on Venmo at tealtownusa or in a super chat donation. And with that, I say good evening to probably one of the biggest Joe Pavelski fans out there, and that's AJ Strong.
Big Pavs guy.
I mean, we kind of had an inkling that this might be happening, especially with Stars locker clean out day today. But what did you think when the news started trickling in?
Dude, I went to the game on March 26th
Mm-hmm.
and I bought extra warm-up pucks just in case, because I thought this is the last time Pavelski is playing a game at SAP. And lo and behold, I can give myself my own personal handy for being correct on that one.
Yeah.
But there it is. I mean, it seemed like we said it on the Pucknologist, or at least I did. If he won the cup this year, it was like, for me, it was fait accompli. He's sunset him. Bye. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of shocking to see him retire this soon. I would have thought he'd let's give it the summer. Maybe he gets the itch, but then again, maybe he looked at his numbers over this playoff series and says, I have no more to give.
Yeah. And it was one of his rougher playoff outings. We had just one goal. He got that. It was in the second round for Dallas. It's a bummer to see because he's always been, a clutch player. Even when he came into the league, I remember he scored his first NHL goal in his first game. I remember like a regular season game where I think it was against Detroit, where he scored a game-winning goal with like 5 seconds left, and you could go on and on and on, and we'd be here for like 3 hours of talking about Pavs. But he just seemed to have that I'm going to step up my game and you guys jump on with it.
He was told early on. Remenda talked to us about this, I don't know how long ago, but he was told early on, Pavelski, you're my 13th forward. And all he did was say, okay, watch this. I mean, there's nothing more to say. Ricky, I don't know why you're blaming DeBoer on anything. How much of his career did he waste getting coached by DeBoer? Zero? I don't understand that comment.
And some of his best years were with DeBoer at the running, and especially that 2016 run.
Yeah, wasn't he given the C under DeBoer?
Yeah.
And is there anybody else that should have had that?
I mean, you stripped it off. You had no captain the year before. I mean, it just, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he said something about like needing time to decompress or whatever, that's one thing. But fact of the matter is, look at all the tweets. Basically, he retired without officially retiring. Right. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe you still got to file paperwork and shit. So, and it's not as if there wouldn't be space for him with the Stars. It's not like there wouldn't be space for him with probably more than a couple teams, San Jose included.
Yeah. And I think wishful thinking, or as you would say, rub a lamp, in the sense that it'd be nice to maybe get him over a year, get him under the tutelage for Smith and Celebrini, kind of like hand off the torch of sorts to, Jumbo and Patty. Yeah, they're off the ice and they're with the organization, but there's certain difference about having such a strong leader on the ice in the locker room with you to go on from there. Of course, that was wishful thinking on my part, but Uh, yeah, I'm with you. When he said the plan is to not play next year, it's like, okay, we're kind of seeing that it's unofficially official, but he did leave like a tiny open, but I can't see you doing that after this run.
No, I mean, Ian mentioned something offline that basically said, once you talk about retirement, you're pretty much done. And that's probably where we're at. It's once you have it in your head, and again, you look at the stats, it's just, man, for these playoffs, for whatever reason, and you look at all those games and only one goal, that's not Pavelski like.
Yeah.
So,
And he still had a decent year, 27 goals for Dallas this year too. And
wouldn't that have been like top on the Sharks?
yeah, you're not
So,
wrong.
yeah. It's like, I would love for him to come to San Jose for a year to show the youth how to get her done. Does he need to be a player in order to do that? Not exactly. Maybe he's out there during practices, but similar to what Jumbo and Marlowe do, where they're not quote unquote actual coaches, but they're out there trying to, shall we say, exert their influence.
I mean, whatever it takes to help the next group of Sharks go. And I'll say this. So Jumbo's retirement party is this season. Let's hope there's another Legends game, because somebody's already available, and he might challenge Jumbo to having the loudest ovation when he gets introduced on the ice.
I would hit Pavelski. I'm going to just assume, and I shouldn't, but let's just say Pavelski's there for Thornton's ceremony on the ice at the Sharks game. Like, tell me who's going to get a bigger round of applause.
Right.
It's not going to be anybody else. Now, the other thing, Thornton, it's already been announced. He's getting his call this season.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm already seeing people saying, oh, yeah, and you got to do Pavs next season. Really? I mean, I understand we broke the seal on retiring numbers for San Jose. Let's not get out of fucking control here.
True.
Marlowe and Thornton, without a doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer. Marlowe, I don't know that he gets in on a first ballot. But Pavelski, does he?
That's the tough part. And that's why I was kind of thinking maybe he does come back, because he's 24 goals away, which is, I mean, that's very doable in Pavelski standards to get the 500. That's probably like a big crescendo that they can hit.
He gives a shit.
And that's the thing. He doesn't, and considering, maybe where
all
he was
the other
drafted,
numbers he has.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can pull him up, but I mean, considering that he's the biggest goal scorer in the history of American-born players. I mean, with 74 playoff goals, a 4-time NHL All-Star. I mean, you have over 1,000 points, and 201 games. I know this was a big one that you put out on the Twitter when the series started, but I mean, 201 playoff games. I mean, 123 points, and how many of those were game-winning goals, overtime game-winning goals? Just huge. I going through highlights today, and I remember Butcher Grass saying they want to change the name from the National Hockey League to the Joe Pavelski Hockey League, because he had that crazy run in 2010. And I mean, there are countless moments and goals that he's put up and just became huge. I mean, literally, he went from being little Joe in the shadows of Thornton and Marlowe and whoever else was in there at a time to the big Pavelski because of how clutch he came.
Absolutely. An easy saying, I always thought you should win a cup for a team before you get your number in the Raptors. I would agree largely with the Chris, 69 goals. Nice. I would largely agree with that. Now, if it's someone like Marlowe where you're drafted by the org and you basically play your entire life there, for that long, like, then I can kind of see it for what you meant. But I still kind of, I think Marlowe getting his number retired, you could debate that. I think you could go back and forth. I think you could debate it even for Jumbo, because no championship has been brought. The Ring of Honor, absolutely. I don't believe that the Sharks don't have one. And that's where I put Nabby and Nolan and Ricci.
Right.
Ring of Honor, absolutely. But retiring a number, to me, that's, how long the Rangers have been a franchise? Been like 100 years.
Yeah.
And you look up, dude, they have like
A handful.
10 numbers retired, and half of them played for the 94 team.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are we doing here? I think, Shimmick's next. Of course. Why wouldn't you be? But,
Right.
I mean, just stop. Can we stop? I think, Marlowe and Thornton, absolutely. Then we let it marinate for a little while. I'm not saying that you don't put Pavelski in there,
but maybe not right away.
But then you're going to sit there. You're going to have a whole contingent of people, because it's all the feels, and it's going to be like, well, how do you put Pabs in there before Nabby, or how do you put Nabby in there before Nolan, and it's just fucking
right.
Shut up.
And we haven't gotten to when Brent Burns retires.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised we haven't gotten the call for Dan Boyle. So
yeah. So we'll see. But getting back to Pavs,
things can be debated, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
People can debate the bigger goal in franchise history. Baker or Goodrow. Which one, but for the Pavs decision, there was no debate. The one person to blame for Pavs not staying in San Jose is Doug Wilson. It's not Evander Kane. It's not Erik Karlsson or any other person. Doug Wilson chose not to give Pavelski the third year that he wanted. And, some people like myself thought that was that was a bad idea. That was wrong. You don't let your captain go. And in hindsight, ended up being the worst decision that Wilson ever made for the Sharks. And that's something that is not up for debate.
No, I completely agree with you on that.
And when I see the ignorant assumptions on the Sharks Facebook, it's just like, oh, dear God, please stop wasting everybody's time. It's just pick your spots. Social media needs to be anti-social media at this point.
God. Your favorite goal, your favorite moment from that Pavs had?
I mean, my favorite moment, it's got to be when he came out and was waving the towel in a suit in the runway. What was that, like Game 7 of the next series, or Game 6?
I think it was like Game 5 of that series, because he came back for Game 7 in that series.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But he comes back and gets the crowd absolutely fucking riotous.
Yeah.
And that was like, just to see how everybody, the Sharks, circled the wagons. I mean, you remember when that happened, and it's like, here comes the Game 7 wank. But when that happened, like, everybody circled to help him come off. And it just went to show you how beloved he was in that Sharks dressing room. Like, not to be a dick, if that's Evander Kane, if that's Erik Karlsson, I don't know that you see as many guys giving a shit.
Right.
But Pavelski, he evoked a lot of caring. And Kevin Kurz had a great tweet earlier today that said, if you want to know why culture matters, here's a prime example. It got better in Dallas when Pavelski arrived, and dramatically worse in San Jose after he left. It just, like, and you can't, again, something that you cannot debate. Again, why? To me, that's the whole thing. I don't know that Doug Wilson is ever going to do any more media things. But boy, I'm telling you, there's a part of me that would really like to sit there and say, just ask, just say, look, on it, it's been a few years now, you're outside of the Sharks org, and nobody gets it 100%, because if they did, they'd win the cup every year.
Right.
But looking at your list, there's obvious wins you can take. The Thornton trade, the Boyle trade, the Burns trade. There are a lot of things that he was able to pull off there. But there was also the Mark Bell acquisition. You sit there and go, "Ooh, not what was given up for Bill Guerin or Soupy Campbell."
Oh God.
You think about all those futures that Doug Wilson mortgaged.
Yeah.
But I get it. It was for a playoff run, and and that's the whole thing, is that if it goes well and the Sharks have the big shiny thing at the end of it, then you go, absolutely, you fucking do that.
Yeah.
But this one, letting your captain go, he has to be like, I just want to know, like, obviously hindsight, I mean, just the numbers bear it out. Worst fucking choice you ever could have made.
Right.
But I'm dying to know what he was thinking at that moment, because it's been bandied about the Vlasic deal. Like, holy crap. But everybody goes, yeah, but in the moment, what he had done, he had earned that deal. He just hasn't lived up to it. Whereas Pavelski, he earned the fucking third year. You fucking give it to him. How do you not? And especially for a general manager who, up until that point, has a long history of falling in love with players for too long.
Yeah, of course. Of course. For me, I know it's already been said in the chat, but the face deflection in Game 1 against Vegas, that's up there as one of the more memorable goals, where he takes a Burnsy shot, it goes off his teeth and in. I'll remember, I think it's one of his first overtime game-winning goals, the one against Dallas, where he's literally leaping as he's shooting the puck past Turco. There are a bunch of them in that 2016 playoff run. That was ridiculous. And of course, my favorite moment will be that got captured by the Stadium Series documentary, where he's just going off in the locker room in Arizona, about how soft shit doesn't win in the playoffs. And that I think right there showed everybody who the true leader was coming from the team and what he was made of. And like, it goes back to what you said, the culture in there really was huge for Pavelski, and when he left, it kind of changed. And that's no disrespect to Logan Couture or anybody that was there right away after he left, but I mean, that was massive.
It just goes to show that he, again, based on what Kerr said and everything like that, it just, I don't understand how Wilson got that one so wrong, especially being a former captain himself. I don't understand how he shit the bed that bigly, very bigly, so bigly.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you not give him the one more year, and we'll never know unless somebody has the balls to ask him and get him in front of a mic or whatever, and let's hear from the guy. But it just, horrible fucking choice. But the Sharks are where they are now, and that's, if anything, I think you can almost use that as a segue to say, for the Greer haters at this point, he's had 2 seasons. Let's give a little bit more rope. Greer needed a pretty big mop to clean up this fucking spill on aisle Teal. So let's give him a little bit more runway. But I mean, I think you have to respect. Now, granted, Greer has had to make some significant moves and try to jettison some ridiculously huge contracts. He's gotten some value back. But when have you ever seen the pipeline for the Sharks this stuff, at least at the forward position. It's
Right.
There is some talent there, and granted that comes from getting higher picks because you suck. But then again, this is also a team that took Bernier instead of who?
Zach Parise.
Yeah. Took Mahalik instead of who? They took Ryan fucking Merkley instead of who? Who just signed with what Russian team? Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. So it's like, there was a 10-year run, people, 2010 to 2019, when Wilson was the shot caller. You know how many fucking players the Sharks took how many players were drafted by the Sharks? It's somewhere in like the 60s or something. Somebody can go through and count it, but it's somewhere around the 60s or whatever. You know how many players from 10 years of drafting are still with the Sharks? One. Mario fucking Ferraro. Now, technically, LeBanc is still here, but, as soon as the fucking clock hits July 1, goodbye. Yeah. So you look at that, and it's just, good Lord.
Right.
How does Wilson not get any, criticisms for that? I know a lot of people want to point at Tim Burke. It's not a one-man show over there. So that's
and Tim's still here.
Yeah, but I think it's more of like a figurehead advisory capacity. He's not the one that's fucking calling the shots anymore. I would think if I sucked my bad at that that bad at my job for a decade, I honestly don't know how the fucking guy's still here, to be quite honest with you. But then again, though, to me that goes to the point of the NHL. Good Lord, man. Once you're into it, man, do they know how to make sure you continue to get a paycheck, whether you do anything or not?
That Good recycle. Lord. Yep. The retreads, indeed. So to reiterate, Joe Pavelski says he plans to retire. He's not planning to play this coming season. We will remain to be seen about how we look down the road. Maybe he has a change of heart. Maybe it doesn't seem like a money guy, so I don't think he would ever come back for the money. But tips to Joe Pavelski, because AJ, I think you'll agree more so everything. The guy, if he can teach hand-eye coordination to kids, and maybe he has to Wyatt Johnston among other Dallas Stars, my goodness, he'd be amazing. I mean, and for that matter, you think he becomes a coach? Do you think he just rides into the sunset? I mean,
honestly, if I'm going to bet money on it, I think this is a guy that for at least the next 5 years, the only coaching he's going to do is for his kids' team.
Yeah.
I think he is father of the fucking year material. And there's been a lot of, speculation, which of course drives me nuts. I don't want to talk about what could be. I like to talk about what is, or what what had happened was, as Jerk likes to say. I like to talk about that shit. I hate the clickbait bullshit. I hate the speculation. So far, I've seen, a couple people talking about he's going back to Wisconsin. He's always said that's where he's going to end up, and blah, blah, blah. There's other people that sit there and go, oh, he loves it in Texas, and this is, he's put down roots, and blah, 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 blah. Then there's other people, oh, he's always wanted to come back to San Jose, and blah, blah. And it's just like, oh. Let me just put it this well, it's just like, okay, for the most part, a big batch of you fuckers are wrong. So just shut the fuck up, unless you heard him say it, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear the speculation. I don't want to see clickbait articles put out by any of the local scribes talking about, this thing from 2009 when Pavelski was taking a leak next to Kevin Kurz, and he said something about, that part of you ever been to that bar in Madison, Wisconsin? Yeah, I think I'd like to go back there again, and it's, this just in, Pavelski going back to Wisconsin when hockey's over, so none of that shit. So yeah, let's just talk about Pavelski's decision once Pavelski has made a decision. I don't want to sit here and clickbait people into, well, he could do this, he could do that. What do I want to see him do? I would love to see him return to San Jose in some sort of capacity. But dude's going to, but I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to speculate. I'm just saying what I would like to see happen. He's going to do what he does. And when he does it, that's when we'll discuss it.
Yep. So,
you
big
clickbait douchebag.
Oh, my God.
I'm tired of it, dude.
So stick taps to Joe Pavelski on an incredible career, 13 in beautiful San Jose, 5 in Dallas. We love you, man. And
was it only 5?
Yeah.
God damn, feels like it was 7.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it was? Because wasn't it in Dallas where they had like the fucking 7 overtime game in the bubble? Or whatever it was.
I don't think it was them, but they had
like
a lot
an entire
of
season
overtimes.
was played that night.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was fun.
No. We love Pavs. I will say this. I don't know when I'm going to die. I just know that this statement that I'm about to say is true. Pavelski will be the best captain the Sharks have ever had in my lifetime. Just saying, I could die tomorrow. I could die in 40 years from now. I'm just saying, either way, that statement will still be true.
18 seasons. He was in the Western Conference final or the semifinals or whatever you want to call it. 7 times.
Like twice in his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Are you fucking kidding me?
But 7 trips to the conference final. That's crazy. I mean, that's
what's more crazy. The fact that he's never won a cup yet has played in more playoff games than anybody else who has never won a cup.
God,
the fact
that it's 3 Sharks.
The top 3 are all Sharks players. That just, that's one thing that I would like to ask Doug Wilson. What do you think about that stat? How you feeling about that?
I guess.
Not to say that Wilson wasn't trying to win, of course.
No, yeah.
But there were definitely a couple times where he made a few questionable fucking moves where you're like, what the fuck is this guy fucking thinking?
But at least he was trying to go for it too. I mean,
of course, I would. Yeah, no, I'll take that all day over what, I don't know, the fucking Senators have tried to pull off. But
right. So
I just sit there and just, oh, what the fuck are you guys thinking? And you can see it down yonder, the captain's poster.
Yeah.
As all the previous ones, and you just sit there and you go, like, I can sit there and say, Pavelski, best captain the Sharks have ever had, and you're going to look at that poster and you go, the bar is pretty fucking low, kind of low. It's down here. Now, I have something to ask you when it comes to being a captain. Who do you think come opening day this October, opening night, if you will, is the person with a C on their jersey currently on the Sharks roster?
So are we not counting Logan Couture?
We're absolutely counting Logan Couture. But the thing is Logan Couture playing hockey this October?
He may not be playing hockey, but I doubt they'll strip it.
No, I'm not saying that they're stripping it. I'm just saying, is the C wearing jersey currently on the team right now?
Yes.
Okay. I would say no.
You think that there would be somebody coming in and taking over the C?
Yes, because I feel like Logan may have played his last game. You don't do all that fucking rehab, then play 6 games and you're fucking gone. And when, if it was something small, like, oh, okay, he tweaked something and blah, blah, blah. No, it happened. And within a day or two, it was like, and he's gone for the season.
Right.
To me, something like that, that's too significant. I'm sure the fire burns, but you look at what happened with Steve Young.
Yep.
The fire, it still burned.
It still burns.
But not to the point where it's like, this is going to be a detriment to the rest of my life. And, new father, somewhat, I think you could almost still classify newlywed.
Yeah. Newlywed, new father with another one on the way.
Yeah. So I sit there and go, I don't know that, the jersey that has a C on the front has a 39 on the back come this October. I would even maybe go so far as to say that there may be no jersey this season that has a C on the front of it.
I think I bet on that a little bit more for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see, because I did. And I know there's a lot of people that sit there and say, well, Vlasic is an obvious choice because he's elder statesman. And he's literally the only guy on this squad that wore an original crest jersey. Right?
Yep.
Elder statesman. He doesn't want it. He's never wanted it. There's some people that sit there and point at Ferraro, and I go, are you fucking kidding me? No, well, Alex, no.
And there was a lot of talk about him being that guy, that he has potential captain material and everything.
No, I got to tell you, I think I love Mario.
Yeah.
I think he's too much. I look at Pavelski in that video where he's like, hey, boys, soft shit doesn't get it done in this situation. And based on everything I've seen with Ferraro, I feel like in that moment, Ferraro would have been like, come on, guys, you can do it. It's okay. Just, no. For me, Ferraro doesn't have that brutal honesty, that fire that Pavelski had. It's to me, Ferraro's not that guy. I got to say, the next C to me right now is not on the roster.
I think you would have a good solid bet on that. So,
I mean, at least that's the way I would hope.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm interested in. But I mean, it's obviously too soon to give it to you don't pass that shit on to the youth. I mean, how old was McDavid when they fucking handed it to him?
I think it was 20. I think Landeskog was 20 as well.
Yeah.
When he got the C for Colorado.
And not to say that they aren't great players or anything like that, but I think anybody would sit there and go, no, that's too much too soon.
Right.
So, and Crafty saying quarter the team with A's again. No, not a quarter, but I would say only A's this season. Ferraro with an A, sure. I would say Zetterlund with an A. And then maybe we kind of hold off for that third one. See who comes in during the offseason.
Maybe have one in,
Well, Sturm is the obvious choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I would kind of, and Jules, I'm right there with you. But I look at Zetterlund and Ferraro, and and the reason why I'm kind of iffy on Sturm, it's only because I think it's time to start, instead of switching these letters every fucking season, like, let's identify a couple people that are going to be here for the next 5 years.
Right.
And these are the guys that we want to put in the leadership role. We want them driving the culture and the bus for the next 5 years as this transition completes. So right. So Sturm, I'm totally with you on that. But like I said, I think, is Sturm FA at this point?
No.
What's he got?
I think he's got a year left.
A year left then.
Yeah.
All right. We're looking it up.
But Granlund's got a year, I think, as well.
Granlund, no, that's 32. No, that's too old. Nico Sturm, 1 year left. He's 29. Left. I mean, if you give it to Sturm, if you plan on signing him to like a 3-year extension. But at this point, I don't make that play. Let's be honest. Sturm to me is a huge, valuable. He's literally the trade piece coming into the deadline this upcoming season. Mm-hmm. I mean, 29, only making $2 million. Nico Sturm, huge trade piece. And if you're trying to make that transition, you have pieces in play. So
but
just
he'll
saying.
he'll definitely be a leader on this team, even if he has a letter or not.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's a great point. Whether he has a letter or not, he's the guy that you most consistently see answer the media, answer the bell when it's time, with a staggering amount of honesty. Sometimes maybe more than the Sharks are comfortable with.
Well, true.
But that's what I appreciate. And Aaron in the chat saying maybe they draft number 1 again next year. I mean, there's a potential there right now. You look at the roster. We don't know who's going to make it and who's not. And we don't know what Greer's going to do in the offseason. But right now, hasn't got any better in goal. And it hasn't got any better on the blue line. And we're talking about a team that gave up the most shots on goal, the most shots, the most high danger chances allowed. Having better players up front might not change that very much.
Right.
You know, you've still got it where you've got a defense where your number 1 guy is Mario fucking Ferraro, which I'm sorry,
and
4-5 at best. So they need to address the situation on the blue line. And who's the cat that we got from Jersey to back up Blackwood?
Oh, Vitek Vanacek.
Yeah, we still have no idea how the fuck that's going to work out. So there's, I don't know, but the whole thing that makes me like, my whole thing, it's like, you know, if you're going to, what's the movie, the gymnastics movie? What's it called? Not Bring It On. What the fuck is that called? It's a cheerleader movie.
Yeah.
What was the gymnastics movie?
I'm
this thing with the bra strap. Jeff Daniels, Bo something. Oh, come on. How do you people not know this? Either way, the point behind the film was, if you're going to eat Matt, eat it hard. Right? So it's like, if you're going to, like, I don't want the Sharks to finish 18th overall and just miss the play. Oh, they've gotten better. Just, you know, they just missed the playoffs. No. If you're not going to make the playoffs, be the worst fucking team. But the problem is from what I understand, like this coming, or you know, obviously the end of the month, a little different.
Right.
But next year, 2025, 2026, from what I've seen so far, people aren't that excited about it. You know, like this season, it's like Celebrini, then like a little bit of a drop. Then there's a few other people, and then kind of a drop. And whereas the year before it was Bedard, but then it was Fantilli and Carlson, and it was a very small move, but there was still a lot to be had.
Right.
From what I understand, it's Bedard. It was generational, elite, top 6 projected. But from what I understand, for the next 2 seasons, there is no franchise, generational, elite talent coming. So if you suck, I mean, okay, yeah, I guess you're getting the best of the worst.
Right.
You know, that's, who knows. But fact of the matter is, I want to see what this team can pull. To me, this is, again, the most, and I've said this on Pucknologist, it's the most important offseason the Sharks have ever had.
Yep.
I want to see.
Completely agree.
What Greer is able to pull off. And again, you have that thing of like, I get it. It's a business. You want to sell tickets. You need to put some butts in seats. But again, if you're not going to make the playoffs, what's the fucking point? You know?
Gotcha.
So,
all right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But look, maybe we'll see Joe Pavelski general manager in 10 years from now.
Well, that might be interesting after Greer leads us to a Stanley Cup. That'd be nice.
I'd like it.
Right. In case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because whenever the Sharks decide to name a head coach, we'll be on to break it down.
Do the Sharks not have a head coach yet?
Day 42 of Sharks Coach Watch.
Jesus Christ. Are you really keeping fucking track of the days?
It's like panda watching in Anchorman. Come on.
Christ almighty. Oh dear God. Are you able to share graphics in the final seconds?
I can, yeah, if you send it to me, I can throw them up.
Oh my Lord. Okay. I'm just always a huge fan of when somebody makes just the slightest tweak whatsoever to an image. It's kind of it's the idea of, like, when you there was a Twitter thing that ran around where it's like, add one letter, ruin a movie, or ruin a song, or whatever, or it would be like, the breakfast, ruin a movie, the Breakfast Club sandwich,
Yes.
something along those lines. So I've sent you on Twitter, on the DMs, I've sent you an image that I'm hoping you're able to share with the crowd, that it's just an image. And the only thing that happened, somebody just happened to put a logo on the front, and you went, and you go, fucking makes sense. It makes the most sense I've ever heard.
Oh, yes. Oh, hang on. I'll get this going here.
I mean, there's just, every once in a while, somebody on social media, this is the only redeeming thing of social media, people, is once in a while, somebody does, they hit it out of the park, and at least they give you an honest chuckle. And you're like, see, that's what I'm here for. Instead of all the stupid misinformation and the stupidity and ignorance. No, somebody will come along and go, how's this? And you go, nailed it. There it is. There it is. Nothing wrong with that image, but then you add a logo and you're like, oh my God. So fucking perfect. So Jared, by the way, nailing it. Yeah, it was the movie Stick It. But
Stick It.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But look at that. You can't are you fucking serious? Like, that needs to be my I'm gonna have to crop that correctly so it can fit, super thin and horizontal. Now I'm gonna make that my fucking cover banner on like all my social media. Just gotta raise the J. Crew logo, but that is fucking hysterical.
Nice.
And thanks to Brody for sharing that, because
yes,
Christ almighty, that's what, Brody does have himself a sense of humor about himself. So
right, of course,
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that was a hockey jerk, not so much.
Oh jeez, now. All right, we'll get out of here. Thanks for watching us again. Keep it on posted whenever the coach happens to come out and we find out. We'll let you know and break it down. Until then,
nothing about Angel Hernandez.
No.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that.
Angel Hernandez? You want to talk about a baseball umpire who can't see the light of day?
Yeah, because I love the fact that social media is now being blamed for him being ousted.
Oh, when?
And the reason being is because every time he would fuck up, it would be echoed on social media. And it's the thing that gets me. It's like, oh, people are piling on him because he fucked up. And it's like, because he fucked up. If he doesn't fuck up, there's no reason to pile on. So anyway, go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Hockey Jerk breaking news. The Sharks are announcing Sturm on June 22nd.
Okay.
All right, so you heard it here first, folks. And we're talking, the voice bringing that to you is from Vegas. They didn't build that city without knowing what they were talking about.
I don't know. You ask anybody about Game 7, they all of a sudden break out misinformation, but I digress. Okay.
I'm waiting for that comment for Jerk to put on his social media, on his Twitter. The Sharks are announcing Marco Sturm on June 22nd. Curtis Pachelka responding, good point.
Yes. And we'll leave you on that. Thanks for watching. And until next time, Teal together, everyone. Good night.